The sanctuary inside the mountain was quiet in the early morning. Leo and Nira had spent the night resting, gathering strength for the journey ahead. They both knew that her enemies would not stop searching, and sooner or later, a confrontation was inevitable. Nira walked through the corridors of the sanctuary, her glowing eyes scanning every symbol and mechanism. "They come soon," she said softly. "Must prepare, defend." Leo nodded, standing beside her. "Then we'll face them together. Whatever happens, I'm with you." Nira's gaze softened, and she reached out to touch his hand briefly. Trust, human, strong, brave. Together, they began fortifying the sanctuary. Leo helped set up physical barriers, using rocks and equipment to block entrances and create hidden paths. Nira activated protective symbols and devices embedded in the walls, enhancing their defenses with her alien abilities. The sanctuary hummed with energy, glowing faintly as the systems came online. By mid-morning, a distant rumble echoed through the mountain tunnels. Nira stiffened, her glowing eyes narrowing. "They here," she whispered. Leo moved to stand beside her, gripping a small tool in his hand. "Then we show them," he said calmly. "We're ready." The first wave of enemies entered the outer tunnel. They were humanoid, armed with crude weapons. But Leo noticed that some had strange devices, tracking instruments, designed to detect Nira's unique energy signature. Nira raised her hands, and her glowing marks pulsed brightly. The air shimmered as rocks and debris lifted slightly, forming a barrier between them and the intruders. The enemies tried to push through, but Nira's control was precise. She manipulated the environment with ease, her training and instincts guiding her every move. Leo moved quietly behind her, helping wherever he could. He disarmed one enemy who tried to sneak past the barrier, using quick reflexes and clever tactics he had learned during their journey. Despite being human and seemingly ordinary, Leo was proving himself as a capable partner in the fight. Nira's glowing marks spread further, creating small projections of light that confused and blinded the intruders temporarily. She whispered commands to Leo, guiding him through the chaos. "Left corner. Block." Leo followed her instructions, blocking a narrow passage and forcing the enemies into traps Nira had created moments before. Their teamwork was seamless, built on trust, instinct, and mutual respect. As the battle continued, more enemies arrived, but Nira's power grew stronger. She drew energy from the sanctuary itself, her glowing marks radiating intensely. Symbols appeared in the air, forming protective barriers, guiding Leo and neutralizing threats without harming them. And necessarily, Leo. "Now," Nira commanded, pointing to a hidden exit. Leo understood immediately. He grabbed Nira's hand, and together they moved swiftly through a secret passage, leaving the confused intruders behind. They emerged in a narrow canyon outside the mountain, safe for the moment. Breathing heavily, Leo looked at her. "You were incredible," he said, admiration in his voice. "I've never seen anything like that." Nira's glow faded slightly as she relaxed, a small smile on her lips. Human, brave, help, strong. Together, they moved quickly, knowing that the enemies might regroup. Nira guided Leo toward another hidden path that led deeper into the mountains, toward a place only she knew, a secondary sanctuary even more secure than the first. Along the way, Leo asked, "Why did they want you so badly?" Nira's glowing eyes darkened slightly. "Knowledge, power, betrayal, want control. I must protect, secrets, survive." Leo nodded, understanding the weight she carried. She was more than a survivor. She was a protector of powerful knowledge that could change the balance of the galaxy. And now, she had chosen to trust him. They reached the secondary sanctuary, a hidden cave with natural walls and reinforced energy barriers. Nira immediately activated the defenses. The sanctuary hummed and glowed, creating a safe haven that no intruder could easily breach. Leo set down a small pack of supplies. "This will keep us safe for now," he said. "We can rest, plan, and figure out what to do next." Nira looked at him, her glowing eyes reflecting both gratitude and something deeper. Human trust, courage, heart strong. "I feel safe." Leo smiled, taking her hand gently. "You're safe with me, Nira, always." For a moment, they simply stood together, the quiet of the sanctuary around them, feeling the bond that had grown over their journey, from the abandoned road to the forest. Through ambushes and danger, they had faced every challenge together. And now, their connection was unshakable. As night fell, the sanctuary glowed softly, filled with protective energy and symbols of Nira's power. Leo and Nira sat near a glowing crystal, sharing a simple meal and reflecting on the journey. "You know," Leo said, "when I first found you on that abandoned road, I never imagined we'd come this far. I never imagined I'd meet someone as amazing as you." Nira's glowing eyes softened, and she placed a small hand on his. "Human found me, gave, trust, hope together, strong." Leo smiled warmly, feeling a surge of affection. "And I never imagined I'd feel this way. But I love you, Nira. From the moment I saw you, I knew there was something special." Nira's glow pulsed brighter, and she whispered, "I love human too, from first sight." For the first time in many cycles, both felt complete trust, safety, and connection. They had faced danger, betrayal, and fear, but together, they had found love, hope, and strength. Outside the sanctuary, the stars shone brightly over the mountains. The galaxy was vast, full of unknown challenges, but inside the hidden sanctuary, a human and an alien woman had found each other. Together, they were stronger than any threat, braver than any danger, and bound by trust and love that could not be broken. And as they rested for the night, preparing for whatever challenges the future might bring, both Leo and Nira knew one thing clearly: they were no longer just survivor and protector, they were partners, equals, and soulmates, ready to face the galaxy together. The journey that had begun on an abandoned road had reached a new beginning, a life filled with hope, courage, and love. The planet of Zerthus was quiet. Its sky burned in shades of red and purple, and jagged rocks jutted from the ground like broken teeth. Storms swept across the deserts without warning, leaving the few living creatures scurrying for shelter. It was here, in the middle of this harsh world, that two tiny figures huddled together for warmth. Nira and Tala, twin alien girls, were shivering. Their small, delicate bodies were not built for survival in such a place, yet they had no choice. They had been left behind by their own people. The Xyler, their alien race, had judged them useless. In a culture that valued strength and power above all else, the twins' small size and gentle natures were seen as weaknesses. Their parents, the leaders of their clan, had abandoned them in a rocky valley, saying they could not waste resources on the girls. Nira wrapped her thin arms around Tala. "Do you think they'll come back for us?" she whispered. Her large, violet eyes were filled with hope, even though deep inside she feared the answer. Tala shook her head, her twin green eyes wide with worry. "No, they left us. They don't care." Her voice was small, barely louder than the wind that howled across the valley. The twins huddled closer, trying to share body heat, but the cold was relentless. Their stomachs ached from hunger, and every sound from the darkened valleys around them seemed like a predator ready to strike. The sisters tried to survive as best they could. They scavenged what little food the planet offered: tiny insects that glimmered in the dark, brittle leaves from a hardy desert plant, and water collected in cracked rocks after rare rains. Every meal was a small victory, but it was never enough. One evening, as the red sun dipped below the jagged horizon, a low growl echoed through the valley. Nira froze, her ears twitching at the sound. Tala clutched her hand. "Shh," Nira whispered. "It's okay. Maybe it's just the wind." But the growl came again, louder, closer. Shadows moved in the distance, large, quadrupedal creatures with glowing eyes, hungry for any prey they could catch. Tala's voice trembled. "Nira, what do we do?" Nira scanned the rocky landscape. There was no place to run. Then she spotted a narrow crevice in the cliffs nearby. "There, quick, hide." The girls scrambled into the dark crack, barely large enough for them to squeeze through. Inside, the air was damp and cold, but it was safe for now. Outside, the creatures prowled, their claws scratching against the rocks, searching. The twins held their breath, hearts pounding. Hours passed like minutes, but eventually, the predators lost interest and slunk away. Nira exhaled slowly. "We made it," she said softly. Tala leaned against her, trembling. "I'm scared." Tala admitted, "I don't want to die here." Nira stroked her sister's hair gently. "We won't, I promise. We just have to be brave together." Days turned into weeks, and the twins slowly learned the harsh rules of survival. They became skilled at finding food and water, at hiding from dangerous creatures, and at avoiding the storms that could rip through the valley without warning. Still, life was lonely. Every night, they wished for someone to care for them, someone who could show them that the world was not only cruel. One day, while scavenging near a rocky ridge, Tala noticed something strange. A bright light flickered in the distance. It was unlike anything she had seen on Zirthus. She squinted. "Nira, look, do you see that?" Nira followed her gaze. "Yes. What is it?" Curiosity overcame fear. The twins crept closer, careful to stay hidden behind rocks. The light grew brighter, moving across the valley like a small, glowing creature. It hovered over the rocks, scanning the area, and then came closer still as it neared. They saw it was not a creature at all. It was a human, a man, tall and strong, wearing a suit they had never seen before. He carried strange equipment that hummed and glowed, and in his eyes, the twins saw kindness. For a moment, neither Nira nor Tala moved. They had never seen a human before. In stories, the Xyler described humans as strong and unpredictable, but also sometimes helpful. Could this be someone who might help them, or was it another? Danger, the man, whose name was Riven, noticed the small shadows moving in the rocks. He crouched and held out his hand gently. "Hello," he said in a calm voice. "I don't want to hurt you. Are you okay?" The twins exchanged a nervous glance. Nira stepped forward cautiously. "Who are you?" she asked. Her voice was tiny, almost a whisper. "I'm a human," Riven replied. "My name is Riven. I'm here to explore, but I can help you if you let me." Tala's eyes widened. "Help us? You really mean that?" Riven nodded. "Yes, I can give you food, water, and a safe place. You don't have to stay here alone." The twins hesitated. They had been abandoned, lied to, and left to die. Could they trust him? Nira looked at her sister. "What do you think?" Tala swallowed hard. I think we should try." Riven smiled gently. "That's all I ask. Come with me, and we'll face this world together." For the first time in their short lives, the twins felt a flicker of hope. They stepped out from the crevice and slowly approached the human. He handed them small, glowing containers of food and water. Nira and Tala ate quickly, their hunger making them forget fear for a moment. As the sun set and the sky turned darker shades of purple, the twins realized that maybe, just maybe, they had found someone who would never abandon them. And in that moment, they decided to trust him. The storms of Zirithus still raged outside. The creatures still prowled, and danger was far from over. But for the first time, Nira and Tala did not feel completely alone. A human had come into their world, and he might just change everything. The first night with Riven felt strange for Nira and Tala. They huddled together in the small shelter he had built from rocks and fallen branches. The human had used strange tools and glowing lights to make it safe and warm, and for the first time, the twins felt a sense of security. Riven sat near them, watching quietly. "You don't have to speak if you're scared," he said softly. "I'm not leaving." Nira peeked at him. His calm voice and gentle eyes were different from the stern, cold faces of the Xyler. Something inside her told her he could be trusted. Tala, however, was still cautious. Why are you helping us?" she asked. Riven smiled faintly. "Because I believe no one deserves to be left alone and forgotten. You are not useless. You just haven't had someone to show you that yet." The twins looked at each other. It was a strange feeling, hearing words that were so kind. They were used to being judged, rejected, and told they had no value. For the first time, Someone spoke to them as if they mattered. The next morning, the harsh sunlight of Zerithus fell on the rocky valley, casting long shadows. Nira and Tala woke to the sound of Riven moving outside. He had already prepared a small meal of nutrient packs and clean water. The twins stared at the strange containers in wonder. They had never seen food like this before, safe, warm, and easy to eat. Riven handed a pack to each twin. Eat slowly, he said. You'll need your strength today. Tala hesitated, then took a small bite. It's good, she whispered. Nira nodded, finishing her pack quickly. The twins felt their energy returning after days of hunger. After breakfast, Riven spoke again. I want to take you somewhere. Safe, but first, we need to travel carefully. This planet is dangerous. Many creatures hunt in these valleys, and the storms can come without warning. Nira's eyes widened. Travel. Here, Riven nodded. Yes, I want to help you survive. But we can't stay in one place. You need shelter, food, and protection. I can provide that if you come with me. The twins looked at each other, fear mixed with hope. Tala whispered, We can try. Riven extended his hand. Then let's go slowly, step by step. I will stay with you the whole time. The journey began carefully. Riven moved ahead, scanning the ground and sky for dangers. The twins followed, stepping over rocks and around strange plants that seemed to glow in the shadows. Each sound made them jump, small creatures scuttling. The distant roar of predators, but Riven always reassured them. At one point, a low growl echoed from behind a ridge. Nira froze, trembling. Stay close, Riven whispered. Don't run. Watch me. A large creature emerged, with dark scales and eyes that glowed like fire. It prowled toward them, hungry and curious. Riven stepped in front of the twins, raising a small device that emitted a bright, blinding light. The creature hissed and retreated, startled by the strange human technology. Tala clutched Nira's hand tightly. You saved us, she said. In disbelief, Riven nodded. Yes, but you helped too. You stayed calm and stayed together. That matters. The twins began to see that they were not as weak as the Xyler had said. They were learning, surviving, and growing stronger with Riven's guidance. By midday, they reached a narrow canyon where water trickled from a hidden spring. Riven allowed the twins to drink and rest. Nira knelt by the water, cupping it in her hands. And Tala studied the strange rocks and plants around them. You're curious, Riven observed. That's good. Curiosity helps you survive. Nira smiled faintly. We want to learn. We want to survive. Riven's eyes brightened. Then you are already stronger than most people here. Strength is not only about size or power. It's about thinking, learning, and caring for each other. As the day passed, Riven showed them small survival skills. How to identify safe plants, how to move quietly to avoid predators, and how to read the changing weather signs. Nira and Tala soaked in every lesson, eager to prove that they could be brave. That evening, the sky darkened with a storm. The wind howled, sand and dust stinging their faces. Riven guided the twins to a natural cave, and inside, he built a small fire with his tools. The warmth and light gave them comfort, and for the first time in days, they laughed a small, shaky sound, but genuine. I never thought we could feel safe, Tala said, staring into the fire. You can, Riven said. You just need someone who believes in you. Night fell, and the storm raged outside. Nira and Tala curled up together, their fears slowly fading in the presence of the human who had saved them. For the first time, they dreamed of a future where they were not abandoned, not weak, and not forgotten. But the twins also knew this was only the beginning. The universe was vast, full of dangers they could not yet imagine. Their own people had left them to die. Would the Xyler come looking for them? Were there other creatures more dangerous than what they had already seen? Riven watched the twins sleep, silent and thoughtful. He understood the burden they carried, not only the fear of survival, but the weight of rejection. He made a quiet promise to himself. He would not let anything harm these girls. He would teach them, protect them, and show them that their lives had value. The storm continued outside, but inside the cave, a small light of hope burned. Nira and Tala had survived the first challenge, learned the first lessons, and discovered that there was someone in the galaxy who cared for them. The twins did not yet know what the future held, but one thing was certain: they were no longer alone. A human had entered their world, and with him, the possibility of life, hope, and strength had arrived. The sun rose over Zerithis, casting long golden shadows across the rocky landscape. Nira and Tala woke to the sound of Riven moving quietly outside their cave. The storm had passed, leaving the air crisp and fresh. For the first time in days, the twins felt a small sense of excitement instead of fear. Riven turned to them, smiling. "Today, we begin our journey. It will be difficult, but I promise you, we will find a safer place." The twins glanced at each other. They had never traveled far from the valley where they had been abandoned. The thought of leaving was frightening, but the presence of Riven gave them courage. Nira nodded. "We are ready." Tala hesitated but then followed. "Yes, we'll try." Riven led the way, moving carefully over jagged rocks and strange glowing plants. He taught the twins to watch the skies and listen to the wind. "The weather here can change in minutes," he explained. "Storms are fast and dangerous. Always stay alert." As they walked, they came across a narrow canyon. Small creatures scurried along the edges, hiding in shadows. Riven knelt and whispered, "See them? They are cautious, just like you. Respect the creatures and stay calm. You can survive if you are careful." Nira and Tala imitated him, moving slowly and quietly. For the first time, they noticed details they had never seen before: the shimmer of tiny insects on the rocks, the sound of wind shifting through the canyon, the faint glow of plants that only appeared in certain light. Hours passed, and the twins began to feel more confident. Tala whispered to Nira, "We can do this. We're not as weak as they said." Nira smiled softly. "Yes, we are learning. We are surviving." But the planet of Zerithis was not easy. As the group moved across a rocky plateau, dark shapes appeared in the distance. A pack of predatory creatures, larger and faster than anything the twins had seen before, moved toward them, their glowing eyes locked onto the travelers. Riven acted. Quickly, "Stay behind me," he shouted, activating a small device that created a bright light and loud sound. The creatures hesitated, but hunger and curiosity drove them closer. Tala clutched Nira's hand. They are going to attack." Riven held up another device, this one projecting a strong energy barrier. The creatures stopped at its edge, snarling and snapping at the invisible wall. Riven turned to the twins. "Do not panic. Watch me and follow my lead." He led the creatures away from the twins. Using noise and movement to confuse them, the twins stayed close together, holding their breath as the predators circled the barrier. After tense minutes, the creatures gave up and disappeared into the rocky distance. Nira exhaled slowly. That was close." Tala nodded, her green eyes wide. "But we did it. We stayed together. We survived." Riven smiled. "Exactly. You are learning. Being brave doesn't mean you are not afraid. It means you act even when you are afraid." As the day progressed, Riven taught the twins more skills. He showed them how to find water in hidden streams, how to collect edible plants, and how to move quietly to avoid predators. Nira and Tala absorbed everything, eager to prove themselves. By afternoon, they reached a small forest of glowing trees, a rare place of shade and calm. The twins explored carefully, discovering small fruits that could be eaten and tiny animals that were harmless. Riven allowed them to experiment, guiding them gently when needed. "See," he said, "even in a dangerous world, there are safe places. You just need to find them." Nira picked up a small fruit and handed it to Tala. "We can share. We can help each other." Tala smiled. "Yes, together, we are stronger." As the sun began to set, the group found a shallow cave. Near a stream, Riven prepared a small fire and a simple meal, while the twins washed in the cool water. It was a small moment of peace, a brief respite from the dangers of the planet. While they ate, Riven spoke softly. "You may feel small or weak compared to others, but strength comes in many forms. Intelligence, courage, and heart are just as important as size or power. The twins listened, absorbing every word. For so long, they had been told they were useless. Now, someone believed in them. Night fell, and the stars of Zerithus shimmered brightly above. The twins lay near the fire, staring at the sky. I never thought the world could feel calm, Tala said. Nira nodded. I feel hopeful. Maybe we can survive. Maybe we can live. Riven watched them silently, feeling a deep sense of responsibility. He knew the twins were fragile, yes, but he also saw their potential. With guidance and care, they could grow stronger than anyone had believed. Suddenly, a distant sound echoed through the forest. Nira and Tala stiffened, fear returning. Riven examined the shadows. Nothing to worry about yet, he said, calmly, but stay close. Not all creatures are friendly, and not all people are good. We must always be prepared. The twins nodded. They were learning not just to survive, but to anticipate danger and respond with thought, not panic. Every step, every decision, every moment of courage mattered. As the fire crackled, the twins realized something important. They were no longer alone. They had someone who cared for them, someone who would guide them, protect them, and help them find their place in a harsh world. And for the first time in their lives, they dared to imagine a future beyond the valley where they had been left to die. Tomorrow, they would continue their journey. They would face more dangers, learn more lessons, and grow stronger. But tonight, for the first time, Nira and Tala felt a small spark of hope burning in their hearts. With Riven by their side, they were no longer abandoned. They were survivors, and perhaps, in time, they would become something even greater. The twins, Nira and Tala, had grown stronger over the last few days. Each step with Riven taught them something new: how to move quietly, how to watch for danger, and how to trust themselves. Yet, the universe rarely gave peace without testing. At first, high above their small camp, a sleek alien ship hovered silently. Inside, the Xylar hunters stared at a holographic map of the valley where the twins had been abandoned. The twins' own people, the very ones who had left them to die, had discovered that Nira and Tala were alive. Commander Xerox, a tall, imposing Xylar with sharp blue eyes, scowled. They should have perished like they were meant to, he said coldly. Yet somehow, they survived. Retrieve them. They are useless to us, yes, but they cannot be allowed to live outside our control. The hunters prepared quickly, their ships descending toward the rocky terrain. Meanwhile, on the ground, Riven and the twins continued their cautious journey. Nira stopped suddenly, sensing something in the air. Riven, do you feel that? She asked, her violet eyes narrowing. Riven scanned the horizon. Yes, something is coming. Stay close and stay quiet. Tala's heart raced. She had never been so afraid. Do you think it's one of them? The Xylar. Riven nodded. Could be. They are likely tracking the twins, but we can handle this if we work together. The twins clutched each other's hands, fear mixed with determination. They had survived storms, predators, and hunger. Now they would face the hunters of their own people. As the Xylar scouts approached, Riven quickly led the twins into a narrow canyon. Its rocky walls created shadows and hiding spots. Using the skills he had taught them, the twins moved quietly, avoiding the open areas. The first Xylar scout appeared, a sleek figure with shining armor and weapons that glowed with strange energy. Riven whispered, "Don't make noise. Let me handle this." The scout scanned the area, its eyes sharp and mechanical. The twins held their breath, frozen in the shadows. Riven raised a small device that emitted a pulse of light and sound. The scout paused, confused, and then retreated slightly, unsure of the strange human technology. You see, Riven said softly, even the hunters can be outsmarted. Stay calm. Nira and Tala exchanged glances. For the first time, they felt capable. They were not entirely helpless. Their minds were sharp, their instincts growing stronger. And Riven's guidance gave them confidence. The hunters regrouped and tried a different approach. Moving through the rocky terrain, cutting off possible escape routes, Riven led the twins along a hidden path, one he had discovered on the first day of their journey. The path wound through jagged cliffs and led to a small, almost invisible cave inside. The twins could finally rest. Their breathing slowed, and they shared a small smile. "We made it again," Tala whispered. "Yes," Nira said, "and we survived because we stayed together." Riven smiled at them. "Exactly. Remember this feeling. Fear is natural, but courage is acting even when you are afraid." While they rested, the twins noticed something new: small scratches and marks on the cave walls. Strange energy patterns that glowed faintly in the dark. Nira touched one carefully. "What is this?" Riven examined it. "It's natural energy, unique to Zerithus. It can be dangerous if used carelessly, but it can also hide us or confuse those who track us. We'll learn how to use it later." The twins were fascinated. Their world was full of secrets, and Riven had opened a door to understanding it. They realized that survival was not just about avoiding danger, it was also about learning to use the world around them. Night fell, and the sounds of the Xylar patrols echoed in the distance. The twins huddled close to Riven, feeling safe for the first time in days. "Do you think they will find us?" Tala asked quietly. "Maybe," Riven replied, "but it doesn't matter. We are prepared. We will face them if they come. And you are stronger than they think." Nira and Tala exchanged a look, realizing the truth in Riven's words. They were not the useless children their people had abandoned. They were learning, surviving, and growing stronger every day. Suddenly, a loud sound erupted outside the cave. A scanner, searching for life signs. Riven activated another device, creating a false reading that drew the scanner away. The twins watched in awe. You tricked them," Nira whispered. Riven nodded. "Yes. Sometimes brains are stronger than strength, and sometimes courage is stronger than fear." The night passed with careful vigilance. Every shadow, every sound reminded the twins that danger was real, but with Riven guiding them, they also realized that survival was possible. The Xylar hunters might pursue them, but the twins were no longer defenseless. As dawn approached, Riven prepared to move again. "We can't stay here forever. The hunters will return, and we need a safer place." The twins rose, stretching their tired limbs. Nira's violet eyes shone with determination. "We are ready. Let's go." Tala nodded, holding her sister's hand. "Yes, we can do this together." Riven smiled. "That's the spirit. Remember, courage, teamwork, and thinking carefully. These are your greatest weapons." The three of them moved carefully through the canyon, shadows stretching long in the morning light. The planet of Zerithus was harsh, but the twins were no longer helpless. With each step, they proved that even those considered weak could survive, adapt, and grow stronger. The Xylar hunters might be waiting ahead, but Nira and Tala no longer feared them completely. They had learned that danger could be faced, challenges could be overcome, and hope could survive even in the darkest places. And so, their journey continued through jagged rocks, glowing forests, and dangerous terrain, with Riven by their side. The twins were no longer abandoned. They were not useless. They were alive, learning, and ready to face whatever challenges the universe would send next. The first true test of their courage was yet to come. The twins, Nira and Tala, had traveled further than they ever imagined each day. Their confidence grew, yet the planet of Zerithus continued to test them. Strange storms, unpredictable creatures, and the ever-present threat of their own people. The Xylar hunters kept their senses sharp. One quiet afternoon, the group reached a hidden valley. Unlike the harsh rocky terrain they were used to, this place was filled with shimmering plants and soft glowing streams. The air hummed with energy, and Riven's eyes widened slightly. "This place is rare," he said softly. "Zerithus has pockets of natural energy that can be powerful, but you must be careful. It can help or hurt if used without understanding." Nira stepped forward, curiosity overtaking caution. She reached out her hand to touch the flowing energy along the stream. A faint light flickered on her fingers, and she gasped. I felt it, something inside me." Tala watched in awe. "Me too. The stream, it's like it's alive." Riven knelt beside them. "You are sensing the energy of the planet. Some beings have the ability to connect with it. You?" may have more strength than you realize. Nira looked at Tala, her violet eyes bright. Could it help us fight, or hide, or survive? Riven nodded. Yes, but it takes practice. You must learn to control it, or it could be dangerous. For the next few days, the twins trained under Riven's careful guidance. They learned to focus, to feel the flow of energy around them, and to control small bursts of it. Nira discovered she could manipulate small objects with the energy, moving pebbles and plants without touching them. Tala found she could sense danger before it arrived, an instinct that alerted her to predators or unstable terrain. See, Riven said one morning, watching them practice. You are stronger than anyone expected. Strength is not just about muscles. Intelligence, courage, and skill matter just as much. The twins smiled at each other. For so long, they had believed themselves weak and useless. Now, they realized that the universe had given them unique gifts and someone to guide them. Their training, however, was interrupted. A faint rumble echoed through the valley. Riven's eyes sharpened. Hunters, Xyler, they've tracked us again. Nira and Tala quickly hid behind glowing plants, their hearts pounding. Riven raised a hand, signaling them to stay calm. The Xyler patrols moved through the valley, scanning for signs of life. Tala whispered, What do we do? Use what you've learned, Riven replied. Focus, control the energy. Trust yourselves. Nira concentrated, and the small rocks around her lifted slightly, creating a barrier that obscured their hiding spot. Tala closed her eyes and felt the warning signals of the valley. Sensing the hunters' movements before they arrived, together, they moved silently. Avoiding detection, the hunters paused, confused by the twins' absence. One of them scanned the valley with a glowing device, but Riven activated a small gadget that created false heat signatures. The hunters moved past, unaware of the twins hiding nearby. When the patrol finally left, the twins exhaled in relief. Nira laughed softly. We did it, Tala smiled, pride shining in her green eyes. Yes, we really did. Riven approached them, nodding approvingly. This is just the beginning. With your abilities, you can survive almost anything, but only if you work together and stay smart. Over the next few days, the twins practiced more, becoming confident in their powers. Nira could now control small bursts of energy, using them to lift, move, or distract. Tala's senses became sharper, allowing her to detect danger and guide them safely. One evening, as the sun set and the valley glowed in warm colors, Nira asked Riven quietly, Do you think we can fight back if the Xyler come again? Riven smiled gently. Yes, but remember, fighting is not the only way. Using your brains, your powers, and your courage is often stronger than any weapon. Tala looked at the horizon, thinking of the hunters who had abandoned them. They thought we were useless, but now we are stronger than they expected. Nira nodded. Yes, and we're not alone anymore. We have Riven, and we have each other. The twins' bond grew stronger each day. They learned that their powers were not just tools, they were extensions of their courage and will. With Riven guiding them, they realized they could survive, adapt, and even thrive in a dangerous galaxy. But Riven knew that the greatest test was still ahead. The Xyler would not give up easily. The twins' abilities were new, but the hunters were relentless. Every challenge would be greater than the last, and the twins would need to use every skill, every instinct, and every ounce of courage they had. As night fell, the valley glowed under the twin moons of Zerithus. Nira and Tala sat beside the fire Riven had made, feeling warmth in their bodies and hope in their hearts. For the first time, Nira said softly, I feel proud of who I am. Tala smiled and leaned against her sister. I feel the same. Maybe we aren't useless after all. Riven watched them, silent but proud. He knew that the twins were no longer the frightened, abandoned girls who had huddled in a valley days ago. They were becoming strong, capable, and brave, true survivors of the galaxy. Tomorrow, they would continue their journey. Dangers would come, and challenges would test their skills and courage. But now, the twins had more than just hope. They had power, training, and a guide who believed in them. For Nira and Tala, the universe was no longer a place of fear and abandonment. It was a world of possibilities, a place where they could grow, survive, and even change their destiny. And as the stars shimmered above, the twins knew one thing for certain: they would never be useless again. The twins, Nira and Tala, had grown stronger, but danger never rested. The Xylar hunters had tracked them again, and this time, Riven knew they would not be patient. The hunters were relentless, skilled, and determined to retrieve or eliminate the twins. Riven crouched behind a jagged rock outcrop, scanning the terrain. "They're close," he whispered. "We have to move now. Follow me carefully and stay hidden." Nira and Tala nodded. Their hands clutched each other's, their hearts racing, but their training and abilities made them ready. They moved silently, using their energy powers to mask their presence and Tala's instincts to sense the safest path. As they approached a narrow canyon, Riven stopped suddenly. "The hunters are splitting up. Some are moving toward the ridge on the left, and others toward the stream. We must avoid both groups." Tala focused her senses and whispered, "I can see a hidden path. It's faint, but it leads to the cliffs above. We can climb it and hide until nightfall." Riven nodded. "Good. Lead the way." The twins guided the group along the hidden trail. Small rocks lifted gently around them, a subtle shield of energy that hid their movements. Nira concentrated hard, keeping the path clear and ensuring no sound escaped their steps. The hunters appeared below, their glowing devices scanning for life signs. One of them paused, sensing the unusual energy. Riven quickly activated a small gadget that created false signals in the valley. The hunters were momentarily confused, giving the group a precious window of time. "Move," Riven whispered. The twins sprinted, climbing the cliffside with careful precision. Their muscles ached, but they used their abilities to make small leaps easier, lifting rocks and using energy to steady their footing. Halfway up the cliff, a Xylar hunter spotted them. They're escaping," the hunter shouted. Energy weapons glowed as the hunter fired, the blast striking the cliffside. Near the twins, Riven shouted, "Dive behind the rocks. Use your powers." Nira and Tala reacted instinctively. Nira focused her energy to lift small boulders between them and the hunter's line of fire. Tala sensed the vibrations of the shots and guided the twins towards safer ledges. Together, they moved as one, a coordinated team of intelligence, courage, and skill. The hunters were relentless, but Riven's strategy and the twins' abilities gave them an edge. They reached a hidden cave high above the canyon just as the sun began to set. The glow of the valley below faded into shadow, giving them temporary safety. Inside the cave, the twins collapsed, exhausted but triumphant. Nira laughed softly. We made it again," Tala smiled, brushing dirt from her hair. "Yes, we're getting stronger. We can survive anything with Riven." Riven nodded, proud but alert. "This is only temporary. The hunters will not give up so easily. We need to find a safe place somewhere they cannot track us for the next 2 days." The group traveled cautiously. The twins' abilities grew with each challenge. Nira could now lift heavier objects with her energy, creating barriers or distractions when needed. Tala's senses became sharper, detecting even the faintest signs of danger. Together, they avoided predators, traps, and scouting hunters. One night, as they camped near a hidden waterfall, Riven spoke quietly. "There's a human colony on a nearby planet. It is protected, safe, and far from Zerithus. If we reach it, you will no longer be in danger." Nira's eyes lit up. "A safe place, really?" Riven smiled. "Yes, but we must travel carefully. The Xylar may pursue us across space, and we cannot take unnecessary risks." Tala hugged her sister. "Then we keep moving. Together, we will make it." The next morning, the group reached a hidden landing area where Riven had stored a small transport ship. Its sleek hull shimmered under the morning sun. "This will take us to the colony," Riven explained. "It is fast, and we can hide from most trackers." The twins boarded the ship, marveling at the strange controls and glowing panels. Riven showed them how to buckle and explained the safety systems. "You must stay alert," he said. "Even in space, danger can find us. But if we work together, we will reach safety." As the ship lifted off, Nira and Tala pressed their faces to the viewing window, watching Zerithus shrink below them. The storms, the predators, and the hunters were left behind for now, but the twins knew they had grown, stronger because of the challenges they faced during the journey. Riven taught them more about teamwork and strategy. Strength is not always physical, he said. It is in your mind, your courage, and your ability to trust each other. You have all of these qualities, and they make you powerful. Nira nodded. We've learned so much, more than I ever imagined we could. Tala smiled. And we still have each other. That makes us even stronger. Suddenly, a faint signal appeared on the ship's sensors. Riven's eyes narrowed. Xyler trackers. They are still trying to follow us. The twins leaned forward, ready to help. Nira focused her energy to create small pulses that disrupted the tracker's readings. Tala sensed the exact timing to adjust the ship's path, guiding them into safe routes and shadowed areas of space. The trackers fired briefly, but the combination of Riven's piloting and the twins' abilities allowed them to escape. Nira and Tala laughed in relief. We did it, Nira exclaimed. Yes, Tala said. We're unstoppable together. Riven smiled proudly. Remember this feeling. You have survived storms, predators, hunters, and space itself. Nothing can break your courage if you stay together. As the human colony appeared on the horizon, glowing like a beacon of safety, the twins realized something amazing. They were no longer abandoned, powerless, or useless. They had survived the impossible, grown stronger with each challenge, and discovered courage and skill they never knew they possessed. The ship landed smoothly, and Riven guided the twins out. Safe lights and welcoming structures greeted them, a stark contrast to the harshness of Zerithus. Nira and Tala looked around, their hearts swelling with hope. We made it, Nira whispered. Yes, Tala said, smiling. We finally made it. Riven nodded. This is only the beginning. Here, you will learn, grow, and find a life you deserve. You are not useless. You are strong, brave, and capable of amazing things. The twins hugged each other, their journey through danger and fear behind them. For the first time, they felt truly safe. And as they looked at the stars above, they knew that the universe, which had once abandoned them, was now full of possibilities. Together, they had escaped, survived, and proven that even the weakest could become strong with courage, guidance, and trust. The adventure was not over, but for now, Nira and Tala had a future, a safe place, a human who cared, and the confidence that they could face whatever came next.